nigga murder.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the old school new vibes, where the older and the new G's speak about the golden era and the modern era.
Old school, new school, nigga murder.
What happened? When I heard?
The more that you had, the more that we took. But nobody want to cook.
Nobody want to cook.
Real bars and boom bap. Always in attack mode, like I'm black mode.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, we are back.
Speaking of trash,
Old school new vibes back in full effect.
Listen, we are back, and that's that new joint. I like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
He's be coming off on the double time joints too, bro.
Yeah, man. It's you got to do it for the kiddos, bro. You got that's the flow they expect nowadays. You know.
Yo, it's funny you say that, right? I was like playing some new music for my son, and it was actually I did a song with Dak's son, King, right? King Dax, and he has like
Spit
that.
bars too now.
He's been doing it for a minute, but he has a different avenue. He's more, I want to say, like the fucking Puerto Rican Travis, because he has a capability for like bars and all that, but that's not his aim. He's more like a vibe chill, chick, is real chick oriented, right? So anyway, it's like a real boom, 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 boom kind of tempo. So I spit some shit on it, and my son was like, we were in the car. He's like, "Yo, that's my favorite. That's my favorite." I'm like,
The double time, they love that shit, man.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and honestly, I'll be honest.
where we're
I
at,
got
bro.
full disclosure. I'm a little self-conscious about rapping slow. I just think I sound better rapping over faster tempo beats. So when it's a slower tempo beat, I kind of do the double time so that I can rap faster on the slower beat. Although on the joint, The Best Prayers, I had a slow flow on that. So it works sometimes, but generally I like to spit, in between the bars on the slower beats.
They're definitely catchy, and I think the beats also, if they accommodate the flow for that, it's even better. But yeah, to Theme's point, I definitely your double time game has fucking
I appreciate that, man.
you're Super Saiyan leveled up.
Yeah, and this new project is more of a boom bap type of just like I would say like regular flow kind of thing, but I did throw in one joint where we had the faster flow on it because
So that's
I felt like it fit.
I didn't
you know?
I didn't listen to all the songs because it's funny. I was trying to post one of the tracks yesterday and I couldn't. And I was like, oh shit, that shit didn't come out yet.
Well, yeah, you had to do it after midnight. That's why. Yeah.
It's funny because I was like, it ain't what I wanted, what I was aiming for didn't come out, but and then I saw your following post and it didn't come out to the following day. But so that's the only double time track on.
Yeah, the other ones some are faster. I got one that's like 100 BPM, one that's like 90 something, and then some that are in the low 80s. But that one is like the one double time joint that I put in there just to give it a different vibe than the rest of the project.
So the album officially released this
Today,
week.
right?
Today, actually, Today, November 5th. It's called Perpetual Living, 8 tracks, produced by Gustavo Beats. Yeah, man, it's out there. So go check it out.
Yeah,
comment, let me know
I'm
what
gonna
y'all
do that
think.
shit right
and
now.
and
Definitely.
I'm trying to stay more consistent. I got this album out that just dropped today. I got 5 joints already written, of which one is recorded. Probably gonna put that together into like a 5-track EP.
Yo, we need to do a follow up too.
Yeah,
Yo, we need
working on a follow-up.
A few joints.
Yeah, I'll get back in there.
Yeah.
No rush.
But so that's mainly what I've been doing. So I'm hyped about this project though. I think it came out real good. I think it's a quality piece of work. So now it gets to marketing it.
I got it right now, son, and I just downloaded it right now.
Cop that album,
that,
y'all.
man.
Get that
No, of course,
on
man,
all
but,
streaming.
I think we're just you're in that pocket, of creativity where it's like where it's not a job.
Nah, definitely not. Yeah.
But there is pressure and there are deadlines and there is a certain like a quality process. But
Yeah, for sure.
Although those sound like tedious, no, it's like that's the passion, that's the love.
It's definitely more work than what you used to do years ago, for sure. But I think that when you're building a fan base, consistently putting out work is the best way to start getting taken serious by casual fans. So I mean, I welcome the challenge because there's got to be some challenge somewhere, and the challenge ain't really in putting out the music anymore because now anybody could put out music if you want to. Now it's in about the output. How do you separate yourself from the people that quit every day, continue to put stuff out? Yeah,
quality stuff too, because I think
and in quantity, quality and in quantity, consistency. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
What's that? If you had to choose between accuracy and speed, choose accuracy, right? So definitely that quantity over.
Yeah, but also better than any. So more important than any one decision is that it's made in a timely manner. Yeah. So I think there's a balance between both.
There is.
You definitely want to be as accurate as possible, but you don't want to take years lining up the shot. You know what I mean?
No, and I think that's something I learned more in my the last few years. That just shoot, just let off, just let off. And I'm definitely been having a lot of fun, but it was back to how we got into that is the double time flow, and that's what's kind of in right now, you know. For sure. Or if it's always kind of been in a certain degree, right? Or always kind of stood out. You always had.
But I feel like it's for some people that's all they're doing. Like that's just all they're doing.
And it's
gotta mix it up.
I feel like it, yeah, but I mean, it all depends. I mean, there's people that are popping that are only doing that, so to each their own. But I prefer to hear hip hop as I grew up listening to it, which wasn't always that. Like maybe one song per album kind of a thing, but you definitely got more of a regular laid back hip hop head nod kind of flow. So.
It's funny now because even when you hear dope cadences and flows, it's like now. A lot of that could just be nothing hot, nothing. It's just like
they don't say much.
They're not saying dope cadence and how they said it was amazing, but what they said was like absolutely nothing. It made no sense.
Could have compressed that to like 2 bars.
Yeah, so it's like now it's more like we're in the era of sound bites. Everything's sound bites, man. And it's like it was a dope. Like it's just is a something would it be fit your picture you're posting now. That's like there's music for that too. That you just need that one liner or something. Yeah. So right now, what I'm actually looking forward to music wise is this project that I forgot his name. The one who made what's those Broadway shows, man. I can't believe his name is not coming.
Broadway shows?
Yeah, the Spanish dude.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Hamilton. And what's the other one? In the Heights, right?
Yeah.
I saw both, but amazing stuff. He's actually he used to, he came out and the end of the week of. Remember that open mic platform? Yeah. As he not that he came from it, but he was there many times.
That circuit.
Yeah. And the Weekend Cafe was dope, man. It was dope. But anyway, he has something with Nas, something with Lauryn Hill. It's like a Warriors kind of album project that he's working on. That shit sounds crazy.
Sounds interesting, yeah.
And you see, it's taking time. Like I'm okay with music taking little time if it's like you'll hear it, you know what I mean? Like sometimes, and
if there's some anticipation for it, yeah.
But it also depends on where you're at in your life too, because that's where I'm at in my life. A lot of these, like I think we've spoken to this before, but just people don't look to music like that as that crutch or that support or that something to hold them in the meantime, in between time,
Yeah, you find a lot. It's like something to do during a commute kind of a thing. Now it's not. You're not consciously spending your free time on music. You kind of use music to get through your busy kind of time, working out, driving, on the train, that kind of stuff. Whereas like us, I mean, we use music as entertainment. So
yeah.
Yo.
Well, you were just on a project too. What is it? Spider
in the Web. You want a couple of tracks on that.
Yeah, once Dax comes, we could definitely speak to that. That's dope. I love the project. Doza produce everything. Luminary, who's gonna be on the show too. He mix and engineer everything. They're beast, bro. It's just
you got a track with a project with Doza in the works, don't you?
Yeah. I was trying to have that out for my birthday this weekend, but because Dax stuff came out, you kind of like just want to
space it out,
space it out a little bit.
So I'm gonna wait till end of right before maybe like Thanksgiving, So around Thanksgiving,
call it the feast.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's just like, again, back to I'm in a happy place where it's just like I got a place to record. Got great people we're working with, man. It's like it's like you're in your element. But I was gonna say before, we're acting like it's not fucking election day right now, son.
Well,
What
yeah, I
the
mean, we were
fuck
catching up
is
for a bit,
going
but
on right now,
it's
son?
literally
I know it's been a
election
minute.
night right now.
And there's so
so
much to catch up
by
on.
the
'cause
time y'all see this episode, we might know the
there'll be
winner
a result
of the
for sure,
presidency.
yeah.
Maybe not. Who
There's a
knows?
few things to talk. I'm gonna speak to that hat real quick. Your boys got out of there, man, quick.
So shout out to the New York Mets and the Yankees.
Yeah.
We break each other's balls because we got a lot of Yankee fans in the crew. But listen, at the
Nah,
end
it
of the
was dope.
day,
It was
New York
valiant
represented.
effort.
New York
Valiant
represented.
effort.
The fucking Dodgers, man, they just had too good of
Yo,
a squad, bro.
serious,
the best
man.
money could buy, you know.
Yeah, a lot of things were working against us, man. We really only had one guy we could count on starting pitching wise, which was Manaya, and he didn't really
Yeah.
pitch well game 5.
Yeah.
So that
We
kinda,
needed that. We
game
needed
6,
him.
rather,
Yo,
game 6.
that-
So that kind of fucked us up.
That's one thing that the Dodgers, they use their pitches really well. Like,
Half their staff was on the DL, and they still were able to
Imagine
use
if
them
they
well.
had everybody.
I know.
I'm not really. I'm a fair weather. I'll be honest, fair weather.
yeah.
New York Yankees fans. It's anytime they're like in playoffs, forget it. I'm on board. Love them. Grew up in a household like that. But so I've never really seen like the Dodgers like play like that, and how they were running the pitches back to back right in that first
Yeah.
game.
And
I'm
quality pitches. Like,
I'm
it's
like,
not.
They
at
had
first
good
it
pitches.
threw me off. I'm like, damn, son, they really just trying to throw. And sometimes they'll just have the pitcher come in just to pitch to that two dudes. That's it.
If you don't got the pitching to hang with them, then you got to hit with them.
Yeah.
And it's hard to
They
hit
had
against
both.
their pitch. Right.
They were hitting more clutch. They were
The
bringing
thing
in
is
runners.
that I think
Freddie
the
Freeman
Yankees,
went
this
off,
last
though, on
game,
it.
the last game, they just they fucked up. They beat themselves. The Yankees could have.
I was
won that
actually
shit, bro.
watching
The
that
defense,
game.
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
watching that
Defense,
game.
they should've
I
been.
was hoping that they could,
two
get
errors,
another win in there. You know,
There were both
3
errors
errors.
in the same. Yeah,
well,
in the
the
same.
not covering first base, I don't think is considered an error. But
That
yeah,
Aaron
that
Judge
might as
error
well
was-
be.
He should have
Yeah.
hustled
That
for,
Aaron
right?
Judge
The
error
pitcher
was.
just didn't cover. He didn't cover. Yeah.
I feel like in
Garrett Cole
almost
didn't cover.
every playback in that
So, all
scenario,
right, but here's
he's
the thing.
supposed to do that. So
Here's
that
the
was
thing,
like,
and
what
I'm
the
not
fuck
making.
are you doing?
I'm not gonna make excuses for him, but Mookie Betts, the guy who hit it in, like, I don't know if it was the first inning or the second inning or something like that, but he hit almost the same exact ball to first base. Rizzo grounded it and stepped on first base. I'm telling you, it looks like almost the same exact play, except it's a little bit further. Maybe in his mind, he just thought he's going to ground it. He's going to field it and then run to first base. I don't got to cover. He still should have covered, but those plays looked almost identical. So maybe his mind played tricks with him. Plus, you're nervous. You got the bases loaded. You should be out of the inning. 2 errors. All that. Like, you're human. Like, baseball's real analytical by the numbers, but they forget that it's humans that play the game.
It's a game
Then
of
the judge
inches.
Yeah.
closing his thing like
He
that.
catches
was,
that ball 99.9 out of 100. Yeah, it's
That
tough
opened up the
breaks.
floodgates.
Tough
It looked
breaks.
weird,
They
you know?
scored 5 runs in that inning after those errors.
Bro, but baseball has
started coming.
crazy tough breaks. Here's another one. When the Mets were playing the Phillies, I don't remember if it was in the playoffs in the regular season, but the Phillies were almost about to tie a game, and the fucking ball hits off third base, goes into the air, and right into the fielder's hands. You can't predict shit like that happening. That ball should have tied the game. Hits right off the base. There's a bunch of things that happen throughout the
just,
course
yeah.
of a game that can sway things in
it.
any
And
direction.
also, look,
That's
one
it.
thing that could lead to
That's
like
it.
opening the floodgates to another team, like starting to catch up to you with runs, is walking men on base.
Whoa, Mets
And an
struggle
error-
with walks, bro.
Yeah, so that's what could start a whole chain reaction of bullshit.
All right, yo, back to this fucking
But listen,
election, bro.
but shout out to the Mets.
Yo.
I got hyped, man, because I've been
Nah,
a
we
Mets
made
fan.
it far, yeah.
I listen back in '86. I remember
was the
I was a little
last
kid.
time, son. Isn't that crazy?
was
That's a whole
'86. We've been waiting.
lifetime
We've
ago,
been
bro.
waiting. So
There's
yeah, I
dudes
talk a
that
lot of
chill with
shit
them,
about
be
the
like, yeah, that
Yankees,
was
but
before I was born.
because I have like an emotional attachment to that team because my dad got me into them. You know what I'm saying? So I can't see myself rooting.
My
I could
uncle
root for the
too. My
Yankees,
uncle
but I'm
too.
not gonna
Ozzy's
get
dad
hyped.
too.
Nah, me neither. I don't feel
You know
anything.
what I'm saying? I
if
can't
we win or
fake
lose, yeah.
being hyped.
Yeah.
Like bro, I woke up. I tell you that night, I woke up, wifey and the baby. They were sleeping already. I'm screaming. I think it was the night they hit a grand slam of one of those games, and I'm like fucking screaming
Yeah,
at the top of my
me
lungs.
too,
I
bro.
was
That's what's
legit
up.
excited. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
the Pete Alonso homer where they beat the Brewers.
The one they beat. Yeah.
Bro, I was
Yeah.
It was ecstatic. And here's the thing:
it's electrifying,
some
bro.
Yankee
It is,
fans,
man.
some Yankee fans, they'll tell me, they'll be like, nah, I got happy that the Mets won. To each their own, bro. But like, to me, like, I don't get happy if no other team fucking wins. Like, it don't matter if you're from my city or not from. So sometimes I'll be like, are you a real fan or are you a casual fan? Because how could you feel anything for any other team?
That would be me. I'll tell you. Like I like that. I would have liked for them to,
Yeah,
vote.
then you're not really. At least in my opinion, you're not really a diehard.
I'm not a diehard
Because
fan. Well, again, I'm more
I
of
don't
a
give a
fan.
shit about.
But
no
I
other
will
team winning.
admit, I'm not watching every fucking season game. I'm not gonna.
I will if
used
they're
to do
good.
that.
I will if they're good. If they're bad, I check out.
I used to do that, but it's just I got so much other shit to do. Like I can't 3 hours every day.
lie.
But I'll check a box score. I'll still check. I'll check a box
I'll check
score.
up on
yeah.
them, but not during the regular season too much. But but it
that
was a
goes
great
into, like,
playoff season.
Scheduling the same shit. Like, bro, there's so much shit that I'm sure that we all have on our plate.
Yeah, for sure.
That again, those 2 hours of time that I can use on something like that, I'm using that on something else too.
yeah.
Because it's like shit is crazy when you juggling all of this shit.
Nah,
man.
for sure.
But yo, back to this motherfucking
Election. Let's give them. Not that it matters, but let's give them.
How
an
did you
update.
feel when you voted for Harris? Like you just
You know, it's crazy that we've been talking about it, and we're like, "Yo, chill, save it for the podcast, save it for the podcast."
I know
And now-
we done spoken so
we-
many
yeah,
points
we-
right now that we
yeah.
ain't gonna remember to say. But
I mean,
Yo.
so it's. I don't know when this is
look,
gonna air. As soon as we
you're
could get
still
this
my
up.
brother. I'm okay with you being Democratic.
I've been voting. I've been voting blue since I can remember, since Obama's first term. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you see progressively how they haven't really done shit. You see all these wars still happening, all this fuckery going on, and it's like when the last election, when Biden got elected, I'm like, this is another puppet, another status quo puppet. They're gonna keep on doing their bullshit, and it happened. And then the whole shit with the pandemic, the way they handled it. So all that little by little, I'm like, I can't, in my right mind, vote for these people anymore. You know what I'm saying? It became something personal for me.
That's how I
It
felt.
became something personal for me. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck these motherfuckers. I'm never voting for them ever again.
Yeah.
And let's try this other team out real quick. You know?
yeah, for me, honestly, I'm along the same boats, but to a different degree. Yeah, I've voted Democrat my whole life as I've gotten older. Moved up in tax bracket, ownership of a home, shit like that. You start to see the benefits of again, it's personal for me only because I haven't liked Trump since 30 years ago. Like, I'm not going to change my mind no matter what he says. But with another candidate up ahead, I would probably seriously rethink it. Not because I agree with them on all issues, but I got 2 kids that I got to raise in this world, and there's some economic issues and some things like that may benefit me and make me a better provider to them. So I'm going to think in terms of that because nobody else is paying my fucking bills. Nobody else is, you know what I mean? So
One thing that's crazy that Trump, right? Because a lot of people that voted for Trump today never saw themselves voting right for Trump.
Yeah.
So this is, I think, what happened, bro. I think even Trump knew this is the fucking best that the country has to offer. Even and he thinks of himself highly too, but he always
Very highly.
refers to himself not as a politician. He came into this, right? And that's one thing that he let out in the Rogan show, that he said that his first term, he went there, he was like pretty much took on the arm by a lot of people that had to show him the ropes. Remember, he literally fresh, wet behind the
no
ears,
experience
bro.
as a politician
experience,
whatsoever.
right?
Yeah.
Now he says, I know the ropes now.
He
I
knows,
know
yeah.
what to do, right?
He didn't know who to put.
And I think by default, he had to become what the country needs. Now, there's so much riding on it because it's not even him. It's all these people that are believing in him now.
Right.
Bro, the people
RFK,
who I would vote for,
Elon Musk.
I would vote for RFK.
I
You know
wanted
what I'm
to
saying?
vote for him.
Or even like a fucking Ben Carson. Like, those are people you would vote for. If these people, I think they all came to term because there's a shift happening right now. And it's bigger than, because it's like you got
It's bigger than
people, it's not a
politics.
conspiracy anymore because you got top people like Elon Musk, right? He was on the Rogan show too. I feel like, Rogan is just the new fucking
And
Google.
I think that
He's the
might
new
have.
Google. You got
I
to
think that might have helped turn the tide. I mean,
He's
the
about the
election.
biggest voice in the news media right now.
he
The
is
election
the
isn't
news.
over
He's the
yet,
Google.
but he really helped
And-
push.
But real
Honestly,
quick,
that's not crazy because throughout history, there's been swings in Democratic and Republican leadership with the times. So you saying that you see a shift happening, that's perfectly normal. That's happened historically throughout.
I think it's not even like a party shift. It's like a
I
dominant
think
shift.
I think it's an ideology too.
Yeah.
It is.
A lot of
and
it.
it'll
Yeah,
swing back.
that's-
It'll swing back. I guarantee. I know what you're saying right now, but I'm telling you, it'll swing back because it usually always does. Usually, what happens is somebody fucks something up, and then somebody tries the other side.
Yeah.
You know,
But, yo,
that's usually.
it's
but
where we at today though. Like a lot of the topics that Elon was referring to now aren't conspiracies anymore. It's real deal stuff because now you're seeing this party with not with harmful intent now.
Right.
Because they're intentionally hurting the people and lying and deceiving and coming off with the bag, and it's like, yo,
you don't feel like what you're saying isn't what it's historical. I mean, you could go back to Bush and his wars. This stuff it's more in your face because the little thing in your hand
because it's not
is
in Russia,
showing
it's not in like in another
Exactly.
country. The shit is okay.
It'll swing back and forth and back and forth and back
Like a pendulum.
Yeah, exactly. It always does.
But what's happening now is it's almost like right now. See,
The
back then
transparency
when
of
it
this
happened
fuckery
before,
behind the scenes.
there was a veil because no one really. Not
You're right. You're absolutely right. You're
everyone
absolutely
knew.
right.
And why? How
Like,
did that happen?
Only people that were tapped in. Like right now, I feel like almost we're low key fucking like amateur politics, but just talking about this shit. But you have like fucking Cardi B just came out and fucking endorsed.
I want to get into the celebrity side.
But
I
the
want to get into the
endorsements, I
celebrity
wouldn't
side.
put too much stock in. I mean,
but
people get paid
this
to
is
But
talk.
I
we
want to
have-
touch on that.
But where we at right now is like, bro, the veil's being removed, super transparency,
Yeah.
and you have people who aren't even in politics speaking up for politics, which is a good thing because people are using their platforms. So that's why I'm not so mad at, even if they get in the bag at, if they really believe in what
they
these
got the
things
courage
are.
to speak no matter what, and for that you should be commended.
But this is funny because Elon Musk even spoke about that and was like, "Look, they're getting calls saying, yo, you gotta go and blah blah blah," and he's like saying the way it's almost like they're not telling you what's the bad side if you don't do it, but you know what's gonna happen
like
if you
mafia
don't do
talk.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's highly suggested.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like this is the stuff that's happening. So when you see this kind of control, right, and manipulation, and seeing all the money how it's being distributed and it's being funded outside of the country and it's going into other
They're
countries,
putting America last.
and we're literally destroying the economy, bro. It's almost like now it's not even the party anymore. It's like because how Elon was referring to was like
It's
he
not
didn't
the
even know who
Democratic
to
Party
point a
of what it
finger
used
at.
to be.
He was like, it's who they're working for. He kept saying they. It's the infamous they. Who's they?
The deep
Yeah,
state.
they've been around since forever.
So it's like he's not even referring to Democrats. It's like there's a puppeteer behind them.
Shadow government. So I want to touch on you because you said about
Don't touch me.
You said about lifting the veil, right? Lifting the veil.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it has to do with the censorship behind these social media companies like Facebook, so Twitter, once Elon bought it, he purchased it. And then he started uncovering all these Twitter files and all this
Isn't that
shit
crazy,
and
right?
all the shit that they were covering up during the pandemic. And anybody that questioned the narrative would get silenced or they would get their account suspended. I mean, we had doctors and scientists and real medical professionals coming out speaking up about this shit, and they were getting silenced. And then when he came and bought it and exposed a bunch of shit, I think that is also what started the shift in people like looking at the other side of the story and not just following what the mainstream news narrative is telling them.
Do you guys use Twitter though? Do you guys are you guys
just-
using
I do. I
Okay,
check it for news updates.
So I use it mainly for sports because I think it's the best thing in sports.
I use
The
it
only
for
thing I'll
for
say is
battle rap.
he did pull back the layer of censorship that it had. But there's a good and a bad to that. Like the app is horrible right now. Like I can't even scroll it with my son anywhere near my phone. Like it's the shit that you could see by just scrolling. I'm not even following these people.
Yeah.
I'm just
the same shit happens with TikTok though, too.
The same thing. I don't spend as much time on
my
TikTok.
Instagram, my son
but
knows
TikTok
it's
is
not
also
my
not
fault.
US based, so there's a
the
little bit more of
algorithm.
a reason for that. But I don't know. I think the app was, in terms of use, a little bit better before. But you're right. You don't want to be in a position where you're censoring anybody because that's critical to the First Amendment for you to be able to say something, even if you say the stupidest, dumbest shit. As long as you're not causing a danger, like fire in a theater,
threatening-
you should be able to say something.
threatening
anything.
someone's life, yeah.
That's a basic right. That's the
You're
first
not,
one.
if you're not inciting violence.
Exactly.
But you know, when you hear things like what they're saying, they're talking about how there needs to be some level
Oversight.
of control.
Yeah.
To monitor
that's
the system.
That's what she wants to do,
That's
and that's what
dangerous.
that's what
and
Harris
that's what
wants
they
to do.
want to do. So it's like when you see the stuff that party is responsible for, right? Because yo, the epidemic, bro, that shit was next level. And now, yo, they wrote a book, the whole
lies.
fucking book on fucking Fauci, bro.
Yeah, and
he's
I don't know
not
how
even
he's
denying it.
still
He's
out
not
there
even denying
promoting books.
Yo,
That's the
first of all,
craziest
the
shit
credible
ever.
sources that wrote this book, right, are people that you should respond to. Like, you know, this is
Yeah,
kind of,
yeah,
and he's not responding to none of that. It's just crazy, and it could even end up in jail. Anyway, the point is that they crippled, you know, not only the economics, but the psyche of the people, bro. The mental psyche, that shit just really fucked up. It started a whole reality,
Right.
bro.
The
It was like-
vaccines was one thing, but also the mental manipulation with kids, with little kids, like in school, having them masked up, and it's just, I know it fucked up a lot of people, bro.
yeah,
the remote learning fucked up a
learning,
lot of
yeah.
these kids, man. It's-
Keeping them spaced apart, and like they were
Social-
the least vulnerable ones, the little kids.
and these kids are so aware, like hyper aware on anxiety and anxious. Like, what the fuck?
Now you
This
got
is
them questioning
normal.
their
Let them-
sexuality.
you
Now you
feel
got
a
them
little
questioning
weird.
their gender.
It's crazy, bro. When
Yeah,
you give
it's-
them those kind of, but this is what we're hyper everything, bro, and this is what makes money. So it's normally where you fucking stump your toe and that shit, you just stump your toe because you hit it there. No, you go to the doctor, you got staphylococcus, and I gotta give you this. You gotta go on 3 weeks of this medication. This is literally we hyper label everything, bro, and everything is a soundbite. You know, everything's manipulated.
Yeah,
and
you see how the media takes a clip and takes it out of context, and they run with it, they spin it. You know, the whole MSG joke from Tony Hinchcliffe. It was in bad taste. It was a stupid joke that shouldn't have taken place at a political rally.
Absolutely
But
not.
at the end
That
of
was
the day,
stupid.
it was stupid. But he's a roast comedian. That's what he fucking does. Maybe they shouldn't have had him on there to begin with.
But that's where you fuck up.
But
That-
but at the end of the
that-
day,
you know, that
there
was
was
very
but there was
stupid.
so
Yeah.
many other good speeches in there, and they lose the spotlight because of one thing, and that's what the media focuses on and
So when I heard-
highlights, and everybody starts that fucking getting upset and angry and all this shit because of that one thing.
Right.
So it kind of takes away from the impact. This guy had thousands of people. Then they start comparing it to fucking Hitler and the Nazis back in the 30s,
which insults the people that were there.
Like what?
I agree. Yeah, that
What the
doesn't
fuck?
insult
You're
people
calling
who
me a
actually
Nazi?
So
went
you're calling
through
them
Whoever
all
is, I didn't go to
Nazis.
that shit, but
So I'm done with the mainstream news, bro.
But
It's just, they're all full of
just
shit.
to try to be the voice of reason, though, it's this stuff has always existed. Dan Quayle couldn't spell potato. You know what I mean? They always take some dumb shit and they run with it. They take some dumb shit and they run with it. You're right. It's stupid. And I get it. But this stuff has always really existed. You just feel like every day it's something new. Whereas years ago, that would have been a story for 2 weeks. You get what I mean? That's kind of the biggest difference. Like it comes and goes quickly in today's day and age, but it was always there. Like it was always there.
but the control wasn't there like how it is now.
Yeah. for
Like
real.
now there's, bro, so many people. All right, so those kind of laws that change put mad people in jail just for giving opinions, bro.
Yeah,
That's where it's gonna get.
Well, that's what's happening in the UK. People are getting arrested for
So it's
posting
crazy. Right?
shit
So
on
look
social
at, look
media.
at what kind of society we're building. You can go rob, shoot, do whatever.
You get out the
you're
next
getting
day,
out
yeah.
the next day, bro. Yeah, you got to go to court, DK. You got to go to court if you go.
They give you a slap on the
But
wrist.
you could clap dudes up. But if I fucking share my opinion on COVID and the vaccine, that's
you
it.
got to knock
It's a
on your
wrap.
door. Yeah.
This is crazy, bro. Like, this is what I'm saying. I think that we're getting to a point right now where it's past voting, and it may get a little chaotic, you know. And I think this is where the order and the peace will eventually come through a little bit of that chaos. But there needs to be a break in the system that we're living in right now, because regardless of whatever, because I saw a lot of like Trump's tax laws too, and if anything, I would have voted for him. But when I saw some of his tax stuff too, and to be honest, bro, when when he changed the tax laws, that shit changed how I did my taxes.
Yeah,
I had to start
Same
paying
here.
back money.
I agree 100%. Me too.
Yo,
Me too.
that's
Which
one of
pissed
the
me off
reasons
even
why I didn't
more
like
because
him.
I already didn't like him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons. Like I was like, oh shit, he fucking up my money right now.
Yeah.
We had a conversation about the tax thing.
So then the tax, like that's something that hits my pockets, right?
Yeah.
And something I'm still, because that shit changed how I do my taxes every year now because of that. So there's always gonna, be I think we're past that, and without jumping into.
Can I just answer that real quick about
go
the
ahead.
tax thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like for less taxes to be taken out of my paycheck and getting a bigger return, but I feel like that's going back into the cost of living that went up. That just everything's more expensive now. Groceries, rent, fucking, gas, everything. So I could be getting a couple G's back, but it's
Yeah, but
going
it's a
right
little
back.
bit- it's a
going
little bit
right back
more
into
than-
what I'm spending every month.
It's
throughout
more
the
than
year.
just the financial dollars. It's the actual tax code. So it's what you're able to write off, what you're able to be able to deduct and not get counted as taxable income. Like there was a few things that changed from 2016 to
You could
2017
subsidize that shit.
as a homeowner that kind of pissed me off. There were certain things I couldn't write off that I could have before.
Right.
But to
Yeah.
me, like that's neither here nor there because other things tend to even that out a little bit. So I didn't get too mad at the entire thing. It was just more like of a fuck. Another thing that I got fucked on. You know what I mean? Like just at the time. But to me, it goes a little bit deeper than that. It's what the money's used for. Right. Each side has different things that they consider to be priority. Right. One is social programs. I got to talk to the mic. One is social programs and helping out, people who don't got it at the expense of the people that do got it. And the other is giving tax breaks to the ones who do got it so they can create more jobs to stir the economy.
That's why Harris's tax plan is in, favors like a 75,000 and under household, right? Which the majority
Screw
of
the fuck out of it.
who, to be honest, what kind of people, not people, but the majority of people are assistants, they're or low income houses. Those are the ones that are going to benefit most from those kind of services. And it's almost like a trap to keep you in these kind of, services and not grow out of that. We need to create more education on how to grow out of that assistance.
The problem is though is that if you stop offering that, homelessness goes up and a lot of other issues
stop it, but we need to now proactive
solutions instead of band-aids.
Solutions and education.
Yeah.
More so education and how to get out of this. Because, bro, there's a lot of fixes that I know, these great minds, like, I just recently saw that Elon Musk thing, and he had a bunch of solutions that sound great. It sounds super, like, as a blanket statement, but the process behind that is going to require change, bro. I think there's a change that's going to, same way how chaotic the epidemic was chaotic, bro. That shit was the pandemic.
Yeah, to be fair though, everybody handled it wrong at the beginning. The only one that I want to be fair and give credit to, as much as I may not like him either, is DeSantis in Florida is the only one. And maybe he had foresight because everybody thought he was doing the wrong thing. It turned out to be the right fucking thing, opening back up quickly and letting it pass. Yeah. At the time, he was being called crazy because nobody else was accepting that. Yeah, but I mean, hey, he was right, and they were right, but everybody made the wrong. The only problem is that the Democratic side, they kind of went on with it way
they
too
went
long.
in too hard
way
with that
too
shit,
long,
bro.
yeah.
The whole
once it was common knowledge that a vaccine was not going to prevent you from getting anything, everybody should have shifted gears, admitted that we were wrong. Let's do it better. That shit got dragged out because nobody wanted to say we fucked up.
Because they were making money off of it. They made billions off of these vaccines, bro. Billions.
And remember, like, this is not taken into accord that this was a weaponized assault, a bioweapon, bro. So it's like either it was an assault, right? Either it was we got attacked from that. That doesn't really get examined a lot. But you have Trump. They all literally say that he was on Rogue and he said that shit too. He's like, it's from them. This was like I don't know why that's not.
When you tell me that I have to take this shit just so I could keep my job and make a living, that's when you lose me. There's no way you're gonna talk me out of that.
Yeah, there's so many lawsuits over that too, bro.
They se pasaron, like you say in Spanish.
Kyrie Irving missed an entire season. Like
Ice Cube lost on a lot of money 'cause
that's
he didn't
his
wanna take that shit.
livelihood.
I know.
And he couldn't play in Brooklyn.
So this
That
what
shit's
this
crazy.
this what gets me is the fucking hypocrisy because they're running on abortion. Yes, women should have the rights to choose. But when you're talking about my body, my choice, and I have the right to do what where was all that shit during the pandemic when they were forcing you to take this shit?
Yeah.
So how come one is fine
Control
and the
of it,
other one
yeah.
is like,
Right.
it just sounds hypocritical to me.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, one of them, you could come off with trillions of dollars, and the other one,
Not so
Millions.
you
much.
can make
Not so much. yeah.
not so much. You make it different ways.
Just to give
but-
an update.
I mean they're
Yeah,
running
what
on
is the
that
update
though.
The
right now?
update is 230 to 210, which I'm gonna admit is a lot closer than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
I thought he
yeah.
was gonna win by a landslide
Yeah.
based on how it started.
Yeah.
It's 230 to 210. But
Trump.
the states that are undecided
Are
are
the swing
coloring
states, right?
are coloring red.
Those
right
are the
now.
ones that are gonna wait a while to fucking
Arizona,
tell us the
Nevada,
results.
Georgia, PA, Michigan, Wisconsin
Did he
are all
get,
coloring red.
Who's Michigan right now?
He's leading in every single one of the ones I just mentioned,
Okay.
and they're important states. He's leading in Arizona, leading in Georgia, leading in Pennsylvania, leading in Michigan, and she needs to win those to win.
He got
So,
North Carolina.
Yeah.
And
He-
all those areas have heavy,
They're leaning red.
heavy
They're-
migration, which is crazy too. You seen all those videos, man, with people that know that you don't need ID
to vote.
to vote and all
Yeah.
that. I mean, this is the crazy shit. They have it on video, a bunch of people showing it, and there's even people who got arrested. That guy from China, right?
was he a national, Chinese national? Is that what it, or
This
just
is, that's what he was. And so it's like you're seeing it happen. Like, why, if voting, right, is so prestigious and such a exclusivity for the citizens, why isn't it like, guarded more? Like, that's right, I need to see your ID. I got to make sure you're a
So I
citizen.
want to build on
Like,
that. The whole
This is
migrant
crazy. So when things like that,
situation.
man,
yeah.
it's such a loophole that it leaves too much room.
Well, that's what Elon
For
Musk was
error.
warning about. If you place all these people and grant them amnesty and give them voting rights, then technically all these states that were battlegrounds are now just going to be blue states. So
Yeah.
there's really no democracy after that because you're just voting for Democratic.
But so
Democratic
the only,
primaries, they
the
just do
only thing
primaries.
I don't think is quite accurate about that is that they're all getting shipped to states that are already Democratic. They're getting shipped to New York. They're getting shipped to places where they're not going to make a
Blue
difference
states,
anyway.
but some of them are swing
Well,
states.
Florida, a lot of them are Florida.
Yeah, but
Florida's
Florida ain't
red.
gonna really.
So I
They should've
haven't
never
heard
gone.
much about migrants flooding. I'm not saying
Texas,
it's.
yeah,
I mean,
right.
I'm not the end all
But
be all.
Texas is,
But come on. But Texas has always been a place where it's hard to keep people out from crossing the border.
Yeah.
To me, I think that there's some merit to what he's saying that is possible. But as far as I see, I mean, the governor of Texas is straight up shipping them to
Over here.
to over here, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So that's what I want to get into a little bit because, listen, I come from immigrant family. Came from Ecuador
Same.
back in the '80s, and number one, we did it the right way. We worked hard. My parents worked hard. They worked in sweatshops just to make a living, to get me, just to give me a life. And so when you see people doing it the right way and struggling and working hard, and then you got all these people coming in, like it wasn't like this 8 years ago. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
it
Like it
wasn't.
wasn't crazy like this. So now you're basically flying people in, letting people come in, giving them debit cards with money, giving them fucking room and board, so then there's an agenda behind. There has to be an agenda behind it. What it is, if it's about voters, if it's about,
I think it started with being
so-
about voters. It
but
started
it,
with
but
it,
it,
yeah.
No,
yeah, but
well,
like
that's not what they
But
sell
then the
them.
citizens and actual people that made it here the right way, they're getting shit on.
What they tell the people to come here, they sell them a dream. So my wife and I, we help a lot of these families, and that was the first thing we wanted to find out. Why are you coming here? And sold a dream. They're gonna get jobs.
But when did they start this whole giving them debit cards and giving them money and phones and everything?
This is why they say it's geared to the voting. This is because they're and this is
they're
the
gonna
funny
vote
thing.
Democrat.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think it's deeper than just those people voting because
it's
they
also
wouldn't
the-
even technically. Obviously, you could talk about cheating and all this, but they wouldn't technically be able to vote until they actually became, eligible to vote.
Yeah.
The thing is that so as they flood the street, you piss off people who are already voting for you. So if you don't give, I'm not saying it's right, but if you don't give them the debit card and shelter and shit like that, they stay out on the street pissing off regular people who now they lose as voters. So more so than it being about them turning them into voters, they don't want to piss off the people that are already voting for them. The only way that you're going to do that is by giving out handouts, but you're pissing them off by giving out handouts. So it's a real lose-lose situation. I'll never be for a closed border because I wouldn't be here if it was
Facts.
for a closed.
Same. I
But
agree.
you can't get overran either. That's the
can't
thing.
hurt. It's supposed to help the
In
economy.
today's day and age, nobody could ever get to a fucking middle. There's always an
Yeah.
extreme one way, and you're either
Yeah.
getting overran or you're building a wall. There's no in between.
I mean, we're talking millions of people, bro. Like
Yeah,
20
I
something
agree,
million
agree.
people,
It's
probably
too
more.
much.
And a lot of them are being flown in too.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
the
not like
thing.
they're coming in through the border.
Yeah, they're not sneaking in through
They're getting
100 on a
brought
truck,
in
yeah.
here, bro. Like it's crazy. I never seen shit like that.
Yeah,
What?
that's-
You know,
that's
like
the-
that's these past 4 years. So
and then when they're here, they can move to other cities. That's the thing.
right.
So when they get
Oh,
here,
you want to
and-
move to Minnesota? Yeah, all right.
you
here,
didn't
here's
like
a plane
New York?
ticket.
Yeah, you want
you
to
want
go to
you need another
They
debit
tried
card?
Texas?
a couple.
Go
You need
to
the new
Texas.
iPhone?
A few months back, I told you they tried to send a bus of them to Sea Caucus, and they sent them right back. New Jersey was like, "Yeah, we ain't
Don't
having
send them to
that
Staten
shit."
Island.
Yo, did you see that skit?
Yeah,
Did you see
They're
that?
already
right the
there.
fuck out.
They're already there.
Yeah,
me and wifey stood at this hotel. I can't remember exactly where it's at, but I was like, why the fuck are there people outside barbecuing? Like, because I had never normally the most populated areas is areas of Brooklyn and Queens, right? So, but they're in Staten Island now. I didn't put two and two together yet when I had first seen them. I'm like, yo, these people are just hanging out on the street. They're barbecuing and shit. Then I started to fucking realize that these are all just migrants that are living out on the street, or they may be staying at the hotel. But of course, no one's gonna stay in their room all day, right? So they all congregating outside and chilling. I didn't even know what it was until I realized, what I was seeing. But they're out in Staten Island too. Now you're pissing, like Staten Island is heavy Republican base. Yeah. Now you're pissing off people. You're motivating them to go out and fucking make a change and vote.
Yo, do you think that Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, everyone that endorsed Trump, if he loses, do you think? How do you think?
Well,
it's
he
gonna
said
go
it
for them?
joking, and he said, "Yeah, they're gonna come after you."
Well, yeah,
they're gonna come
she
after
did
you.
mention something that he should start. There needs another level of control for.
It's gonna be crazy.
That's
bro.
gonna be crazy.
It's gonna
if
be
he
crazy.
loses. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Well, right now it's still 230 to 210.
And at the end of the day, you could say, listen, these people aren't. We still got to go out and work for a living and make our own money, but it's
I'm not
it's
mad
what
at
affects the
whoever
biggest
wins.
scheme of things, right? Like, so
We're gonna be good either way.
Yeah, when they talk about
It may just be harder.
when you talk about
Or
all this,
easier.
all this hostility happening, right, in the Middle East and Russia and Ukraine and all that shit. Like, number one, we're sending them money, money that could be helping us, people, all these natural disasters and all that shit, but they're sending money over there. So what's going to happen if this woman wins and she's got to have a sit down with Vladimir Putin? You think he's going to show her any type of respect?
Probably not.
Or that Chinese emperor, what's his name? Whatever his name is.
Yeah, I don't know him. I thought you meant North
Yeah,
Korea.
and
Him I
bro,
know.
and the way they did their people dirty during the pandemic, bro. Like they were throwing people in camps. They were dragging people out the door, like some super dystopian shit. And
They're
people
definitely not
conveniently
as,
forget about it.
Yeah, they're
And
not
they
as
still wear
conveniently
masks.
forget
they're
about
not
it.
as
China?
diplomatic is the word.
You
They're
still
not
gotta wear
as
masks.
They're
diplomatic.
straight up
yeah.
communists. They're straight up communists. So, and you talk about the social credit score shit. So that's the road we're going towards of censorship and credits, social credit scores and more surveillance and all this shit, man. I don't know, man. I don't. I can't imagine that, bro.
We
It's
shall
just
pick it
crazy.
up on part 2, and we'll let you know who won.
Yeah, we'll
wanna
see.
wrap it up?
Maybe in a couple of weeks we'll have this episode.
How
out
long
ASAP,
are we?
though.
How long is it?
I'll tell you right now because I got the GoPro recording. 45
Well, we
minutes.
could go on a little bit more, right now.
So
Right now it's 230 to 210.
Yeah, but that's crazy because we're watching the PBD podcast.
What numbers they got? Can
They
you
got
see?
Trump at 248. So what
248.
state did they give?
So AP doesn't have one state probably.
See,
that
that's
they
another
What
thing,
state
like,
is
right?
that?
These are projections. These are all projections.
They
None of
got
this
him
is
at
solid in stone.
248
Yeah.
right there.
What are they're referencing the
They're looking at the electoral votes.
okay, but
Yeah, those are electoral votes, which I
And
have my
see-
own beef with. But they can only report on what's. They can only count what's been reported in. They tell you what the percentage is of the votes that have been reported in. Off of that, they make projections, which is why Biden was able to win days later, because during COVID there was way more mail-in vote.
mail-in
You're not
ballots,
going to
yeah,
see that this year.
Right.
The polls are packed. When I went to
Yeah.
go, like the polls are packed.
yeah, I
But
saw
They could still
lines,
use
yeah.
that shit as a loophole, that mail-in ballot shit. 'cause
yeah,
a lot
there's
of people
definitely
did.
not. But they can get a count on how many they're expecting. There was nowhere near as many this time around
Well,
as last time.
Let's see what happens. But yeah, man, I think we are like in a shift, like a it's fuck. How do I even say this? Like a mental shift. You know, people are waking up.
There's
They're looking through the bullshit.
a
People.
rise in
And
consciousness.
they're expecting more.
Consciousness, yes.
They're also expecting
Yeah.
more, like, because it's not like everybody's just jumping ship and going from one side to
Right,
the other.
right.
But if you do stand for whichever, you're expecting more, and you're asking of more, and you're not just content if you're okay,
Yeah.
because you're getting more information in your hand and you're seeing more at the time.
Right.
So that's
Back
why
then, you didn't have access to information. That
exactly you'd stick to one point, and that was pretty much it.
yeah.
But now, like,
There's
they-
multiple points.
Democratic voters are asking for more, and they're pissed.
Yeah.
And
We're in the information age, man.
Yeah.
But there's like even history that's opening up, and like things are being rewritten, and they're finding out new things, and you know, stuff about dark matter and dark energy. Like,
Well, before we get into that, let's talk about the celebs a little bit, because
Oh, yeah,
we
you
didn't
wanted
really
to-
get
you wanted
into
to
that. We
touch
didn't get
base on
into
that.
that, right? So we got all these mainstream.
How happy were you when you saw that Cardi B?
I shared a video of her giving her speech when
No,
she
she
said
was in our
she
video,
said she
right?
wasn't going to endorse nobody.
You know,
Cardi
she was
B,
in the video with Dax. Dax song. He had a song
before she blew up. Or
Yeah,
when she
Hello.
was-
He had a song called Hello, and yeah.
She did an
Yo,
interview with David
They paid her.
Letterman.
She was a video model, and he paid her, and she was like, she shot a scene in a hot tub.
Listen, she's hood. You know, she's hood. She's ratchet.
She's
but
like this high,
She's
son.
made
She's
herself.
mad short.
She's made herself a big name in music.
Yeah, definitely. She's like a icon.
I didn't like her at first, but she kind of grew on me a little bit in the sense that I don't know. I guess she started coming out with more songs, and not that I'm gonna go fucking listen to albums
It's
or nothing.
vibe.
you're
It's a
not,
vibe
you're not
song.
bumping that in the whip.
No, but
a lot.
She warmed up.
It's in the
She
playlist,
warmed
though.
up to me a little bit. She did an interview with David Letterman. She was down to earth. She was funny. You know, she had a good personality. But then she said she's not gonna endorse nobody, right? Remember, she was like talking about all the economy and everything's expensive, and then she comes around and just endorses fucking Harris. But she can't speak from the heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the
There's a
teleprompter
teleprompter,
fails, and she's like trying to stall. You talk about patience.
And you know what's crazy? Like, okay, that could happen, right? Like, you have a script you wrote, right? Which is fine. I do presentations.
She's saying
and
that she wrote it, but I don't think she wrote that.
this is the
shit,
thing,
bro.
right? Why wouldn't you
They
say
rarely
that?
write. They rarely write their own script.
But yeah, why wouldn't you even say that? Like, let me. I have a script. I wrote it down. It's you
Yeah.
just be
Too
completely
transparent,
honest,
yeah.
right?
She can't even
Like,
write her own music. She's gonna write a fucking speech.
I know, and the fact that it didn't seem authentic, so I didn't buy into that. And that's,
I mean, I would hope even if it did, you wouldn't buy into that. Like to me,
No,
to
because
me,
she could really
it
like.
shouldn't yeah,
you
but
know?
that shouldn't influence you though.
No,
but
no,
it's
not
gonna
me.
influence,
But I'm just saying, like, just her. I can't. Like, we can't be mad
a
at
lot of
her.
young kids.
No,
for
not at all.
endorsing
I'm not
her.
mad
So,
at
I'm
anybody
not
for
mad at
using
her,
their
but
voice.
it's funny.
Yeah.
But so all these other celebs, and then with the whole shit with Diddy, you start like putting on the tinfoil hat. Like, what have they
Yes.
got on a lot of these people? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
And like J
this
Lo's
is
coming
another
out
thing, right?
pretending to cry. Like,
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
the whole Puerto Rico thing. Like, relax, girl. You're in a fucking ivory tower. Like, you don't give a fuck about none of that shit.
Well, okay, then you look at shit like all those people you name, those celebrities are standing up for Kamala, right? Who else does she really have like that you could match up to someone of the likes of like a RFK.
A lot. No. See, now you're
Elon
going in a
Musk.
different direction.
We're talking about celebs.
They're just
No,
talking
I
about
know,
influence.
But
Influence.
yeah.
This is what I was saying before, though. Influence. I think it more than
I just feel like it's a
celebrities,
desperate
More people,
reach.
let's put it this way: more people know about Cardi B than know about RFK. So
I feel
it's just about influence.
So then Elon Musk, right? So now, like if I went into a booth to vote, right? And these are the things that I'm considering. Who are the people, not knowing nothing about any other rhetoric or policies or anything, but just basing
Whose word are you taking
off,
for it?
Yeah, just off of like the team. Like you would look at, damn, this is pretty much today's Albert Einstein, right? Like Elon Musk is today's the closest,
Tony Stark.
Or Tony Starks, right? Yeah, if you will, right?
I guess that's a fictional character.
But yeah,
though, just so
still,
you know.
but that kind of like right now he's changing the world, bro. Kind of, not even kind of. He has. There's a bunch of apps that we're using right now
Revolutionary
because of him,
shit.
bro. Like, anyway, the point is that I didn't see anyone with that kind of vision in mind really supporting her camp. You know what I mean? Like maybe I missed that. I don't know.
That's
But
fair.
do you
That's
know?
A lot of these celebrities started coming out of the
That's what I'm saying,
woodworks.
like, which I don't mind because if celebrities are different, like Elon Musk is saying, I'm gonna sit down with this, and I'm pretty sure he's getting paid, and he's gonna hook him up, and he's gonna definitely favor from siding with Trump, right? I know
a
that,
billionaire is going to back a billionaire. Come on.
of course, right? But this dude is trying to get us to Mars type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like he's coming with some
Next level
incentive
shit.
and stuff that's gonna be for the better of humankind. Hopefully,
Right. Hopefully the robots
As
don't
long
turn
as
on
he,
us.
as long as he can
As long
cash
as
in
that shit
while
don't turn
doing
to
it,
Terminator.
let's not act like it's out of the kindness of his heart. You know?
Which is fine. Because if we're not doing it,
Somebody
whoever
should.
is doing
Somebody
it,
should.
whoever's doing it should get paid for it, right? But it's like, who do we see from her side aside from entertainers?
Right.
Which is fine.
Mainstream
I'm all for
celebrities.
that. That's fine. That's
How many
us
of those
sharing
are
out.
really authentic, and how many of those were bought, and how many of those are just like kind of like forced to do it because they might have some dirt on them?
But at the same,
You know
look,
what I mean?
to have the double-edged sword, like Elon again does see a lot of interest in this. He's definitely like, if he wins, he's gonna be made. This Trump is talking about, he has a position for him already to be some kind of audit already. So I mean,
But see,
there's
that's
already,
a problem, though.
you know
That's
what
a
I mean?
problem.
Like, I don't know if it's a problem.
Conflict
but
of interest is
it is.
usually a problem.
If nobody's getting arrested right now because of that shit, then I'm okay.
Then
with it.
okay, that's fine. That's fair.
Right?
That's
Like,
fair. You're not breaking the law. Then it is what it is.
I think if they were, they both would have been arrested over that shit already. But I think of course, that's going to sway his
Right,
interest
exactly.
too. So I see that.
You
I'm
can't,
not
you
blind
can't
to
also
that.
discount the dislike for him. That in itself could get people to talk out against him. They don't have to love her. They could just dislike him. But I just think I wish it didn't matter. But unfortunately, it does because some people don't know what they're voting for, so they're going to listen to whoever they think to be influential.
And what celebrity is gonna endorse
Yeah,
him?
but I'm not voting blue just because Eminem goes up there and speaks, and I'm not voting.
That one took me.
That will hurt
like-
you a little bit, yeah.
It took me by surprise.
And I'm not
because-
voting red just because Elon Musk says
Yeah.
so. Like,
Can I just
feel a
about
little something,
about
man.
Eminem real quick because he had songs about Bush and the wars and all this shit. Remember back in the days he used to talk about it, and now he's endorsing the same people that Cheney.
Probably
Is
got
it
that, he got that call.
These war profiteers. Like what? What are you
He got
talking
that
about,
call.
bro?
And the
call.
thing is that,
And he's got influence.
this is the
He
thing,
does.
right?
I'm not gonna stop listening to M because he did that. I'm not. You know what I mean?
I'm not either. That's
I'm
the
petty,
thing.
but I'm not that petty.
We shouldn't hate them. It's
Yeah, but-
really brave, to be honest with you, to voice that kind of opinion, man. It's real brave.
But,
'cause
is it an
could-
opinion or is it something that was that
but
he
this
was
shouldn't be a
coerced into?
shock though from
this is
Kamikaze.
what-
I know
album.
he
He's
never
been
liked
shitting
Trump.
on Trump.
I know
since
he
then.
never
We're
liked Trump.
given the
He never
benefit
liked
of
Trump.
the doubt, right?
But just don't
That
just
he
say
does.
go vote. Go vote.
But there is
He
people,
made it a obvious
Same
thing.
way
Yeah.
anybody else can tell you their opinion. He can tell you his opinion.
There are people who Damn, bro, I lost my
You lost
train
your
of
thought?
Yeah, bro, it was fucking.
There are people that are
Eminem.
genuine with their endorsement.
Like Taylor Swift.
100%. But there are people also who said, I was trying to remember his name. He's a podcaster, Kai something.
Okay,
Kai
so
Cenat.
now
He said that
He's a streamer.
he said Harris,
they tried to
they
get him.
reached out to
Yeah.
him and it's like, yo, I need you
Yeah,
to, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
That would have been big for them.
So we are seeing that it is that, right?
Yeah.
So then
This shit
now,
has been
okay,
stuck here for a while now.
I'm
230
pretty
to
sure
210.
that, you know, the check does help out. But if they're really against it, hopefully they aren't doing it. So I would like to think, you know, I'll give people the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, of course, you know, you got incentive, you got paid for it too. But at least you're getting paid to vote for someone that you would have
You
voted
at least
anyway.
would vote for anyway. Yeah.
Maybe that's how
Don't
they
you wish
see
the
it.
entire world was just that ethical? But it doesn't always work.
I
that
know,
way.
I know. That's us, you know, without just to alleviate any issue. But when you find out that they are calling them and they are doing this stuff and it's not done genuinely, then you got to see that it's by design. The design, you
fabricated.
know what I mean? Like you had Trump out there, bro. I heard he outworked her like crazy, bro.
And he's like, what, pushing 80? And he's
Yo,
he's doing a rally like every day. And then at the
he did like
long,
almost want to say 100, and she did like
she can't
fractions.
speak for herself, but all she said was she would repeat rehearsed lines or shit that was scripted to her.
Yeah,
she can't.
hers is
She
controlled.
couldn't have done a 3-hour podcast with Rogan.
No.
And he said he extended the invite,
you
and
see-
they,
Part
they
of that
wanted
is
him
he's not
to.
afraid to say anything.
They wanted
Yo,
him to
did you
fly
see
to
him-
her and
her
do
on
an
Shannon?
hour.
Yeah.
Did you see
Shannon
her,
Sharp,
Shannon?
yeah. So you should look at the comments on that.
Yo.
It's all downvotes and just
I
a
saw it
bunch
because
of
it was
people roasting.
it was
it.
only like 40 minutes, maybe less, because he has
Yeah.
commercials in between that
Yeah.
shit too. It was only like 45 minutes, and then
And
he
he
has
was
commercials.
kissing her ass. And he was brown
And
nosing
none
But
the
he
whole
would
time.
have to, 'cause otherwise he wouldn't get her, and he
Right.
needs to book
She
her.
goes in there
right.
with her own questions,
Right,
so she could only
right.
be asked right. So that's another thing. When you have those kind of things, bro, that doesn't
fake.
that's shady, bro. Right?
Fake.
Super shady, bro.
You can hate Trump all you want, and I don't love the guy either. Like whatever, I'm just, you know. But he went on 3 hours with Rogan, just chilling,
as a
chit
person,
chatting. You know
as
what
a
I'm saying?
person,
Just
I would
talking
definitely rather
like
chill
talking
with
like a
him
regular human
than
being.
chill with Kamala. Like
You know what I mean? Elon Musk, JD Vance, like they doing interviews, town
I see a
halls.
future for JD Vance.
Like he's very
he
well
has
spoken.
Super
You know what I mean?
well
He knows his
spoken,
shit.
Super chilled. I never saw anyone have him under pressure. No one.
So when you see all these people team up, you know what I mean, and ride behind this guy,
Better choice than Mike Pence for sure. That's
Absolutely.
definitely
Yo,
a given.
who
Tulsi
is-
Gabbard, you know what I mean?
Who is Alex Jones endorsing?
He's
Infowars.
endorsing Jill Stein.
Was
So
he,
yeah,
was he
listen.
endorsing Trump or not?
Yo, I was highly
pretty sure
surprised
he
at
is.
the amount of votes that all the other candidates got. RFK for endorsing a candidate that he's running against got thousands and thousands of votes. Jill Stein got thousands of votes.
That's
And then
dope.
there's another one, a libertarian. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Thousands of votes. Like that's people making a statement.
Yeah.
They don't want your choices.
Well, I mean, listen, we're stuck with a two-party machine, no matter how you look
Yeah,
at it.
it's-
That's just how it is. You know, whether our vote makes a difference or not. I mean, that's our only way to speak our voices.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
by-
why I always said you have
by-
to
by
vote.
voting.
Sometimes it means more, sometimes it means less,
Yeah.
but you should because
Yeah.
you're not given that much power.
I knew New York was gonna fucking be blue
Well, yeah.
no matter what, but I still, I
you
still
go out
tried
and
and
you,
did
it's
it.
your voice. It's the
Yeah.
only voice you got. You go
Yeah.
out and you let it be known.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, man, like we still have to provide for our families and do what we got to do, and yeah,
Do it. Let's do it.
be good with
Let's
God.
do it.
We gotta
If
be
there
good with
isn't a
God.
civil war and shit is still
Yeah,
regular,
I just hope
we
everything's
shall
okay,
touch
man.
back in
And
next
listen,
week
I hope
with,
everybody stays safe out there, man.
Yeah,
'cause
definitely.
We're
no shenanigans,
these
y'all.
are some
No
turbulent times we're in.
shenanigans, man. You know, we're gonna be good either. We just have faith either way.
Yeah.
You'll be good. You'll be good at the end. If you're not good, it's not the end. You know what I mean?
So yeah, we'll see what
like that.
happens. We'll see what happens. Maybe when we air it, we'll do a little fucking disclaimer of who actually won when we put the episode
facts.
out.
We'll do that.
Straight
Yeah, we
up.
should do that.
So election night, everybody. I hope you all went out to vote. And
Straight up, old school new vibes. We'll be back
Cardi
soon.
B.
we'll be back soon with some guests.
Yep.
Yes.
Go purchase and stream that Perpetual Living, and don't forget about the Easy Architecture album. And
Still, we still gotta shoot that. Anyway, we'll talk about
we'll talk
that
about
after.
that. We'll see y'all soon.
Yo, bless up, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
Old school, new school, need the murder. oh, oh, oh,